Good morning, everyone. Myself, Ashwini Chandramore from BBI Department of SICS Degree College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Ambernath West. Today, I will be teaching you the Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. The topic is very important, considered in second semester of FYBMS subject Principles of Management. Here, I will be giving you some examples and the main discussion of 14 principles of management given by Mr. Henry Fayol. These principles are very important and are used in today's world for the betterment of results in managing almost all of the organizations. These principles are applied to various, we can say, businesses, non-profits, profit organizations, government agencies, and many more, just to because improve efficiency and effectiveness in those management work. In this video, we will discuss these 14 principles of management postulated by Henry Fayol in detail and with examples. As you can see in the diagram, there are 14 principles mentioned of principles of management. These are the principles not only given by for the purpose of improvement, but also for the purpose of making the organization achieving the goal towards the betterment. In 1916, Henry Fayol postulated these principles for general use basically, but as you can see, it is still followed by business and organizations today. He is the person, as you can see on the screen, given those principles. But I have a question, and you might think that these principles are still relevant. As you can see, the question is raised again. But he was a person who make believe. He was basically a mining engineer who worked for the French mining company called Forchembolt and Dacquesville. He first appeared as an engineer, then promoted to general manager, and then director of business administration from 1888 to 1980. He wrote his business. He wrote his business in famous general and industrial management as a director. He developed many theories on management and work in the organization that were widely influential in the early 20th century. His school of thought is also known as classical theory of management. Moreover, I can conclude in the introduction of this person that he is the one who makes the other persons believe that if you follow these principles in a accurate way, in a detailed manner, then you can seriously achieve those vision of the organization in a better way, in an efficient. Now I'll be continuing with the main principles, that is the 14 principles of management given by Henry Fayol. For the more explanation of the first point, division of labor, here I will continue with a small example. All of you know the Burger King and McDonald's, where we go and have some good delicacies to eat and enjoy. Basically, to explain it more of division of labor straightforwardly, let's take an example of any work in McDonald's or in Burger King. Here, one person, understand this, here one person takes the order, the second person assembles, right? The second person assembles the burger, the third person prepares the fries, the fourth person readies the drink, okay, readies the drink, and the first person serves the entire order. What we can understood is that the first person who took the order is not the same person who will give you the or who will serve the entire order. That means every respective person who is working in the organization has been allotted their specified work in their manner of specialization. This is called division of labor. Now, what is authority and responsibility? Fayol always says that authority is the right to give orders, okay, and obedience, when the worker must be responsible for complying with the order. What is complying? It is following, simply following the orders. Both authority and responsibility must be balanced. Well said. It has to be balanced, authority and responsibility. The manager should be able to ensure that tasks are being done without fail. Basically, the managers, if said that the task is being allotted to the persons, to the workers, they have to be done. They are the persons who are called to being done that work without any fail. Okay, here example I can say a company manager. Okay, a company manager orders his employees to go to work the next day at an item exhibition. Okay, somewhat product or service exhibition is arranged, and the company manager orders their employees to work there or go there simply and just observe. Therefore they are responsible for following the orders of their boss, right? If they don't, then the authority and responsibility doesn't take place. It is as simple as that. Then discipline. When we call about discipline, we follows the previous principle and depends on obedience. Depend means, that means we have to take the support of the obedience and compliance with the established rules. That is on behaving correctly. If we do not behave correctly according to the place, according to the culture, according to the respect of the workplace, then we are not in the discipline and we are imposed about the work. But there should be a part of the organizational flow. We should be a part of it. Good supervision forms the base of discipline. Here, I will give you an example again. If the employees mentioned in the previous example that product exhibition, if the boss is asked to go there, then the people, that means the employees, arrived late or went there in an appropriate dress, then students, the principle which is followed here is indiscipline. That means they are not in discipline, they are going late, they are not in correct attire. Okay, so they didn't comply, they didn't follow the authority and responsibility, and so as the discipline. Next I will be giving you the explanation for these points, that is unity of command, unity of direction, and subordination of individual interests. Very interesting topics are very interesting points, that means principles. Unity of command says what? It is the chain of command basically within the teams needs to be clear. What is that command we say? Command means any work given by the boss to his employee. Okay, a single order that you have to do this at this time or you have to do this and that time. So when the boss is saying, it should not be having a duality of the information. And what is that? Two persons or two bosses or two team leaders should not be ordering you at a time, at the same time. You should be following their orders at different intervals of time and at non-repetitions. That is, receiving two contradictory orders and not knowing which one to obey is a simple logic we can apply to. The unity of command will ensure no conflicts of authority. That means, agar unity of command ho raha hai, that it has to be saying that no conflicts to be taken place. Wahan conflicts nahi hone chahiye. Unity of direction says what? It suggests that all employees works towards the goal. All activities must be led by a manager responsible for the plan. The word in the meaning discussed is saying that whatever the activity is given by the manager has to be done in a proper plan. It is dependent on good organizational skills and planning techniques. There cannot be unity of command without unity of direction. Unity of command होना चाहिए, but unity of direction के बिना नहीं. We will consider these both points in one example. For the unity of command, let's start with an example that Priya is a secretary, okay, in a small family business with two owners, Raja and Mahesh. They are the owners, two owners, Raja and Mahesh. 5 minutes before the end of his workday, Raja asked her to print some sales report. प्रिया को पूछा गया कि दो सेल्स रिपोर्ट जाने से पहले प्रिंट कर दो. Shortly after, Mahesh also tells him she must go to the bank to submit some check deposits. थोड़े टाइम बाद ही महेश ने भी उसको काम दिया कि वो बैंक जाकर कुछ चेक डिपॉजिट कर दे. Who does now Priya listen to? There is no unity of command. Someone is saying work at the same time, the another one is also saying the work at the same time. This would be an example of the duality of the information. Priya is getting information from Raja and Mahesh, but in the dual manner. To whom she would listen, and the unity of command will not be fulfilled. For the unity of direction, we can say that production activities, here I am starting the example, production activities within a production unit should be supervised and managed by one manager, while marketing activities such as advertising, pricing, policy must be directed by only one manager. This is as simple as that if a person is allotted to some work, the direction should be done in that work only or in that department only. You should not heed in someone's work or in someone's direction of the work, right? Then subordination of individual interest. You might heard about subordinates, you know, the colleagues or the team under you. Individual interest in any organization, if you feel that company's interest must always be privileged over the particular interest of the owners and employees, yes, it should be there. Individual interest is basically company's interest. If individual's interest has to be taken after, looked after by the company's interest, then it is called subordination of individual interest against the company's interest. It will always be necessary to give more importance to what happens in the company than personal issues. We almost we understood this, that individual interest is important, but before that company's interest to be taken care of other than personal issues. Okay, if personal issues are given more importance, then company's interest will be drowned. Okay, then here we start with the next point after this, remuneration. Okay, if we understood this, that remuneration is the pay scale, fund, money, anything which we consider, salary, the most famous word, salary, paid to staff or remuneration, right? Paid to staff remuneration must be equitable, fair, and guaranteed so that all company employees can perform the same task. We know that same task is performed by employees or almost on all the levels, the remuneration is same, but it is fair to give more to more work doing persons and more employees to be worked for, और इज इट वेरी कंपलसरी कि जिसने ज़्यादा काम किया उसको कम सैलरी दे और जिसने ज़्यादा काम नहीं किया उसको ज़्यादा सैलरी दे? It is not fair enough, right? Then we called this remuneration part very important part of the organization. It guaranteed that all the company's employees can perform the same task, also get the same remuneration. We'll start the example here. Example is a company's salesperson are paid a 3% commission as a sales reward. एक कंपनी के सेल्स पर्सन ने 3% कमीशन का सेल्स अवार्ड लिया, पे किया उसको, बट अ न्यूली हायर्ड एम्प्लॉय इज पेड ओनली 2% और न्यूली हायर्ड को 2% दिया जा रहा है. इन अदर वर्ड्स, दिस प्रिंसिपल वुड नॉट बी फुलफिल्ड इन दिस केस. Why? Because it is also good to emphasize that there are still salary inequities due to gender issues, where women often earn less than men for the same positions and responsibilities. वो सेल्स पर्सन था तो उसको 3% कमीशन दिया गया, न्यूली हायर्ड एम्प्लॉय को 2% दिया गया, बिकॉज वो जेंडर इक्वालिटी में नहीं थी, वो वुमेन थी. ओके, और एनी अदर culture or caste or workplace or any difference they meant. If this happens there, then the remuneration is not equally paid to them. This should not happen. Remuneration must be equitable, fair, and guaranteed. 8th point is degree of centralization. What is centralization? Centralization, as you can see in the PPT, it is given concentration. Okay, when we mix something ingredient to make a cake or to make something, batter, if we put salt, if we put baking soda, if we put sugar at one place, and we are not mixing it in all the batter properly, then the concentration of that milk or of that powder or of that salt is placed in one place only, is concentrated in one place. That means it is centralized. It is not flattered, it is not spread all over there. So same thing applies to the business organization, that concentration of power and decision making in the top hierarchy is given, right? In this situation, this is almost no or minor delegation of task or decision making. इस situation में no delegation or minor delegations of task is there. Okay, बिल्कुल भी पावर और अथॉरिटी और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को किसी और के पास सौंपा नहीं जाता, कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं किया जाता. It is almost in hands of one. Okay, now we will heard the example here. Centralization is very common in SME, small scale, small medium enterprises में ये बहुत common है, where owners generally make most of the decisions. Owners कौन होते हैं? जो generally सारे decisions लेते हैं. Okay, they do not delegate them or involve middle management or other employees. ज़्यादातर degree of centralization में जो main owner होते हैं, जो ज़्यादातर decisions लेते हैं, they do not divide their or delegate their powers, their authority, or their decision making role to any other employee or person. They didn't believe in that. Okay, that is degree of centralization. Next is scalar chain. It is the principle of ninth principle of the management, suggests that hierarchy is the order in the command line from the highest to the lowest. In this hierarchy, we can say the directors and managers are at the top, the middle managers and the lower level employees. Okay, the hierarchy is followed in the same manner. Hierarchy defines authority and responsibility. Example, we can say the lines of the hierarchy are evident in defense services with different degrees of importance. For example, in the army, the hierarchy is as follows: Field Marshal, General Lieutenant, General, Major General, Brigadier, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, etc. Okay, the hierarchy is same as we study from nursery, playgroup, nursery, senior, junior, first, second, third, and then our degrees, or after post graduation, or after that PhD. Any scale which continues from hierarchy is the scalar chain. Very, very important part of the principles of management. 10th one is order. What is order basically? We heard this word very common slang in every other's mouth. The word suggests that there should be a fixed place for everything and everyone, and everything and everyone should be in its place. This will lead to improved productivity and efficiency also. Okay, then find students if order is not there. If we don't know where to stand, where to buy the ticket, or where to find the order or inquiry desk, we are not doing anything. Should we follow the principle? Are we able to follow the principle? Are we able to follow the system? No. Order is very important. Everything for its proper place, everyone in its proper place, and everything and everyone should be in its work culture. This aligns with the scientific management theory as well. Okay, example is given. In a company dedicated to manufacturing auto parts, एक company है manufacturing auto parts की, tools and equipment are not ordered. उसके tools और equipment को order नहीं किया गया. Staff also does not have a fixed place of work assigned, and each does different task without any assigned role. Staff को पता ही नहीं है कौन सा काम कब करना है, और ना उनको कभी different task करने के लिए पूछा गया कि that this work is to be done by you or by them. This example defines all the components of the principle or order. ये example बताता है कि किसी को पता ही नहीं है उसका order क्या है, उसका place क्या है काम का, उसको क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है, then he is in confusion. And in confusion, no one can make profit, right? 11th one is equity. Basically, in any organization, in any firm, we heard this word very common. Consistently to achieve the employees' loyalty, it will be very necessary to treat the employees in a friendly manner without any preferences and fairly. बिना बिना रेफरेंसेस के, बिना फेयरली, बिना अनफेयर होने के कंपनीज में एम्प्लॉयज को वो अचीव करना बहुत ज़रूरी है जहाँ पर उनको लगता है कि दिस कंपनी थिंक्स अबाउट अस. It is very important for them to make them feel like that. Equity is a combination of kindness and justice. right? It is the combination of kindness and justice. Equity also makes it essential to talk about the importance of gender equality. We know that how important it is to talk about gender equality. Men and women in the workplace together working. This means that they can access a position and receive the same salary. We can have another example for this. Maxine is a manager at a production workshop, right? She allows choosing the simplest job to an employee with whom she plays golf on weekend, and to another colleague with whom she does not get along, she allocates a more challenging job. What she does is, considering that Maxim is biased in her professional behavior, the fuel principle of equity would not be fulfilled in this situation. Obviously, equity fulfill nahi hui because Maxine did what? जो उसका फेवरेबल पर्सन है उसके साथ उसने इजी काम दिया, जो उसका नॉन फेवरेबल पर्सन है जिसके साथ वो ज्यादा उठती बैठती नहीं है, ज्यादा ज्यादा उससे बातचीत नहीं है, then she can have the difficult, then she had already given difficult work to him, okay, work to her, anyone. So this principle is not followed in this example. You have to be very equal, very gender equality formation thoughts should be there, then it is abided. 12th one is stability of tenure of person. It is very arguably said, Fayol says this, that it is essential to ensure that employees last a long time in their positions and avoid staff turnover as much as possible. Hmm? The idea of the stability of tenure of personnel is to inculcate a sense of job security and loyalty in the teams. So they didn't think of leaving the organization. अगर उनके पास job security है, अगर उनके पास loyalty है, तो teams बिल्कुल ये सोचेंगे कि वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को छोड़ के ना जाए. The sense, okay, basically of job insecurity comes indirectly proportional to low labor efficiency. ये insecurity job की कब आती है? Basically low labor efficiency होगी तब, और high cost of training होगा तब, a new person to carry out that task. हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में एम्प्लॉयज को इंक्रीज करना चाहते हैं, पर वो इंक्रीज इसीलिए नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि हमें उनको ट्रेनिंग के लिए ज्यादा पैसे देने पड़ेंगे, किसी और को, थर्ड पार्टी को, और लो लेबर एफिशिएंसी होगा. अगर उसने ट्रेनिंग के बाद उस काम को उस तरीके से नहीं किया तो हमारा ट्रेनिंग का भी पैसा वेस्ट, और उस पर्सन से जो हमें आउटपुट मिलना था वो भी हमें उतना नहीं मिल पाएगा. लेट्स अंडरस्टूड इट इन एन एग्जांपल. Into Info Edge India Limited company awards its employees for their contribution after they achieve a benchmark period, 5 years, 10 years, and so on. This fosters or this gives loyalty toward the organization and encourages the employees to contribute their best. Okay, though this is we can think about stability of tenure of person. बेसिकली स्टेबिलिटी मतलब हम कितने देर तक और कितने सालों तक उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से जुड़े हैं. Okay, tenure is our time period. If the Info Edge Limited company is awarding their employees for specific years they are completing, then it is very good loyalty rewarding, or in an organization they follow, that it encourages the employees to contribute their best in future coming days also. Next is initiative. 13th point is initiative. Yes, it is also a very common word we heard in day-to-day lifestyle, right? Fuel defines initiative is what? It is the ability, basically an ability to see a plan and ensure its success. Success, when we talk about success, we almost have that clumsiness. We almost have this word comes to panic, that we don't want to take risks, we don't want to initiate, we don't want to take a step ahead. Extending this definition, we can add that initiative is linked to people's ability. We can add that initiative is linked to people's ability to propose, to develop, to devise projects. Okay, what is that project? Basically, any task or work. The improve current situations. Okay, basically, this will all help you to improve current situations and the chances of meeting business goals with lesser cost and time if the initiative works in properly. For example, let's listen. Alex is a production manager, right, in a textile factory. He devised a plan to improve the manufacturing process to reduce cost by 2%. Plan को devise किया कि वो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस को रिड्यूस करे कॉस्ट इन 2%, thereby making an initiative towards achieving business goals more efficiently. और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस के टाइम रिड्यूस कॉस्ट करना, इट इज़ अ वेरी बिग डिसीजन, इट इज़ अ वेरी बिग इनिशिएटिव. और इनिशिएटिव मोस्टली एट द फर्स्ट प्लेस लिए जाते हैं, बट व्हेन आवर करंट running business is there, we can also take an initiative to change something indifferently so that the profit will be earned by the organization moreover, right? E-spirit decops, 14th and the very last. This point is understood by many of the students, also not understood by many of them. Why? E-spirit decops. This is the word is basically the language is different, and what that language is French, right? The French term says e-spirit decops. The word is very nice to pronounce and sounding. It sounds very pro. This means that it's a team spirit, as you can see in the meaning. It is saying that the French term that means team spirit. The word is also having e-spirit, that means team spirit. Therefore, management should create unity, cooperation, and team spirit among employees. The feeling should be inbuilt amongst them. Managers also responsible for fostering an environment of mutual trust, understanding, and empathy. In most of the organization, there are some one day outing or tour at a place where work culture is going, to see whether the employees or the department people are working under mutual trust or not, under understanding, having understanding and empathy amongst them. They should have almost all एक अच्छी वाली फीलिंग जो होती है एक एम्प्लॉयज के साथ काम करने की, एक म्यूचुअल ट्रस्ट के साथ, अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ, एम्पैथी के साथ. Okay, that should be there. Working as a team will also achieve more meaningful results. You know that working as a team will achieve more meaningful results, and we want meaningful results where we work so effortful. We take efforts to work and independently we also want results accordingly. Therefore, it is essential to achieve unity and harmony among employees, right? The best example for spirit de corps is the military combat units. You know military combat units, the military camp, where we see that the on the border places where the borders are there, the military persons are in a unit. The team is called a unit, and the unit moves everywhere where they want to be in a standing position, in a alert position, that there are might be enemies or some dangers are there. So they work in unity, they go in unit, and these units take pride in inspiring enthusiasm and devotion against their work and working together to defeat their counter units. Counter units मतलब उनके opposite units को हराने के लिए, defeat करने के लिए, they work in unit. If any one of them is going alone, the person will not survive. But in team, if they go, they will survive also, and they will defeat the counter unit also. So here we end this Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. I hope you understood it in a very simple and very uh, humble language from my side. Fayol's 14 Principles of Management, basically a inclusion of all set of guidelines, we can say. You have to understood this in a way that they can help in many of the terms, like helping managers improve the performance of the organization. These principles are very relevant in today's world, and the managers, the leaders across domains use them. Any culture, any work, any business, any small scale, high scale, or medium scale, any businesses are appealed to use these principles. We hope this article or this whole topic of Henry Fayol's 14 principles with examples help you to understand on how you can manage your teams, plans, organize, control, coordinate, and make better decisions towards a common business objective. This is the conclusion. I will conclude my topic here. Thank you for watching this video.